Okay, we're going to go to share screen again and choose share. And we're going to go back to our partially dealt with OpenRefine spreadsheet. I haven't saved it partly because most of this is relatively uncomplex, but perhaps I should have. I'm going to go back to the rows at this point because I need to do quite a lot of work to actually update any new items. Now, in fact, there was only one, but I'm going to go through this as if there were about 10 new items or whatever to add, in which case it makes sense to modify the spreadsheet, modify OpenRefine, so that we can put them up in one big batch. Obviously, if there's just one, I could do it just by hand and do just the one. But I'm going to show you what I need to do in OpenRefine to put up a new item in OpenRefine from this data set. So we've already reconciled our taxon names. We will need to, because they're new items and they're taxa, we'll need parents, we'll need rank. So we need, yes, those are two that we need. Obviously, we've got the name, it's there, so that's all looking good. Now, in fact, because we've got only genera and species, we have, we can basically create our parent name via the genus one here. So let's do that, genus. And I'm going to assume that this is the parent of everything. Now, obviously, genus is not the parent of a particular genus, but we'll come to those in a wee moment. So first of all, I'm going to create a new column. So edit column, add a column based on this column, and the column is going to be called parent name. And it's going to be identical. I'm not going to change it. So, okay. So parent name, now that's a problem. So I need to subset, if you like, on the genera. Now, that's easy because oops, try again, Margaret, move across, and let's see if we can unclick that so that we can read it. And I'm going to go to this column called rank. So subsetting on that, I'm going to use the facet, text facet, and oops. And I have, again, 15 that are genera. Pick them out because I know my parent names are wrong for all of these. And I'm just going to change them here. Now we have a couple of different names. So I'm going to have to do these one by one pretty well. So I'm going to just go parent name, edit, and I'm going to make, I can see it here, the parent name for this particular genus is Chelidae. And I'm going to apply that to all identical cells because anything that had a parent name that was Chelidae, oh, well, it won't be because there's only one. So I'm just going to go apply. I'm going to go, that's, oh, yes, okay. So this is Chelidae. I have to do this one by one because you can see that I have some different families for some of these. So this is, so what is the sensible thing to do at this point is also to facet on the family, and that would make life easier. Text facet on the family, and I'll pick out the Chelidae. And these are the ones I want to change all of the family to. So the parent name for all of these is wrong. And so I'm going to transform the parent name. And just for these, and you can see they're all the Chelidae, I'm going to edit the cells and I'm going to transform them. I'm not going to use the value at all. I'm just going to write the text Chelidae. Okay, so that's beautiful. And they're all changed. So let's go back to our, we're going to go to, this is a bit of a nuisance. I'm going to go here. These are my Kelonidae. So I'm going to do the same process here in my parent names. So I'm going to add, again, this is just the ones that have, these are the taxon name and they are all genera. And these are obviously not the parent name. The parent name is Kelonidae. So let's edit. Oops, we're actually going to edit the cells and we're going to do a transformation. Oops. And these are Kelonidae. And again, we're just writing the text. So we hope that we've managed to spell that correctly. If we haven't, we'll find out soon enough. So, okay, so that's beautiful. Let's go to this lot here. So include these only, or we want to exclude those because we only want to edit the ones that are, oops, that's a really interesting spelling. I'd better get it right. Oh, I know what I can do. So we're editing the parent name. Oh, I didn't need to do that. It's only a subset of one. Never mind. We've shown you how to do it. So that's good. I'm going to edit the cell. I'm just going to write. Oh, no, I'm going to, oops, I won't do it that way. I'm going to edit the field. And it's Dermochelis. So Dermochelidae. And that's a cell by cell edit. So it's only to that one because that's, and then we're going to get this one and we're just going to edit this one, the parent name, and its parent name is Emididae. Yep. So let's, I don't need quotes here because I'm editing the cell and it knows exactly what I'm doing. I'm not creating a transformation or anything else like that. Oops, I don't need quotes, silly dill. Capital M-E-D day. That looks right. Apply. Okay. Now I want to see all my cells, all my rows. So let's go reset all. We've got my 48 rows. Let's take a look at my parents. I'm going to subset again on the genera just because there's a reasonable chance I could have made a mistake. Okay, so they are all, I've changed them all. That's really good to Chelidae. Change that to, ooh. Oh, I didn't manage to capture that one. So let's get that one. I'm going to edit that one. And it should be Caretochelidae. So all of that is the same. Oh, come on. D-A-E. Check that. Caretochelidae. Yep, that looks good. Apply it. This is fine. Kelonidae, Kelonidae, Kelonidae. And that's all correct. So we've changed all of those names in the parent names, so we're looking good. And what we would do now if we had lots and lots of new items that we want to put up to Wikidata, we would need to reconcile all of the parent names because these are going to have to go up as Q items. So they can't go up as text. And anything that cannot go up as text and needs to be reconciled anything that cannot go up as text must be reconciled to its Q item, to its Q identifier. So let's come down here and start reconciling. The service we want is Wikidata. Those other services, sort of historic. We are reconciling to the taxon. I think it's pretty safe to just start reconciling, so we'll do that. Or perhaps not, we may need to check a couple. So Oh, look. We need to create a new item for this one. That's probably not correct. Let's have another search. Perhaps I misspelled it. I think I may have misspelled it. So let's go back. I'm going to just go. I should be able to. Let's just cancel that bit because I was searching for a match. And I've obviously misspelled this. Dermokill YIDR. We misspelled it, so we're going to respell it correctly. We were missing an extra I there. We're going to apply that. And we're now going to search for the match again. And of course, we do have it. So that's perfect. All of that is fine. They're all 100% reference. Oops, we've got another misspelling, I would say. Oh, yes, we've got another I missing. So let's edit it. We know at this level, by the time it's family, that family will be in Wikidata. It's very, very unlikely that a family of sea turtles will not be up there. So we would not wish to create a new item. And we did some spelling there. So we need to apply. And again, now that we've respelled it, we need to search for our match. And of course, it can find it, which is great. So now let's take a look at our 48 items. Oh, we've only reconciled, bugger. I only reconciled the 15 matching rows. This is something that is really annoying. One always needs to check how many rows one's doing this on. We've only reconciled those. If we go and do another reconciliation, we're going to have to check all of those again, but that's not a problem. We've corrected all our misspellings, so that's fine. So let's reset all and have another crack at our, and you can see that some of the parent names aren't reconciled, i.e. we did not reconcile all of the ones that we excluded. So we do need to keep an eye on what on earth we're doing here. So we're going to reconcile the parent names again, start reconciling. We're going to hope that it picks the right kind of item to reconcile it with. And we've given a couple of choices. We're going to reconcile on taxon. We're certainly not going, and that could include, and we hope that it would include all of those other things. We're going to do an auto match, I think, start reconciling, because it's at this level. It's at a generic level. There's a high likelihood that these are all up there in Wikidata. So I'm reasonably confident that those names are now spelt correctly and there will be no drama. Now, there is a wee drama on occasion because remember we had a genus of reptiles and a genus of a suborder of mollusks. Clearly, we want the genus of these, and we're going to reconcile anything whose parent name is that, because we've got a whole pile to do there. So we've done all the colonna, whatever. Let's have a look. And again, that's obviously the one, and anything whose parent is that should have that reconciled. So going back, they're all reconciled. No, not quite. We've got another one. And look at it. We've got, oh no, that's good. Now it tells us that we've got that. Well, we know it's not our species. We know it's a family. That is a real worry that it tells us 100% agreement there, but never mind. This is probably a subfamily of reptiles. We are doing it on the family. And for all of the Keratochelidai, we will do a match. So there are all of those. Circling down again. One of the annoying things when you do the double click on the double tick, it takes you back to the beginning, which can be really annoying when you've got hundreds of things that you're reconciling. This will be Keratochelidai, and again, look at it, no, it's 90%. That's a relief. Anything that's Keratochelis is going to be there. So all of those. Moving on down, has that got us all of them? No, it hasn't. We've still got other things. Oh, look, we've got 100% match on loggerhead turtle. Oh, well, we're certainly not matching on the species. We are matching on the genus. And we'll do it for all of them, Kerata. And we're back to the beginning again. So we have to hunt through. Yes, there's some more. Colonia, I thought we did that. Genus of reptiles, genus of insects, all of the genus, thank you. How are we going? We're nearly to the bottom. Oops. Oh, look at that. There's, this is the one we want. And look, we've got 100% match on sea turtle, which is a common name and not a, yeah, anyway, we've gone through that. We've done our rant. On all of those, I think there's only the one. Moving on, have we matched? We have, right, so we've now reconciled all of our parent names. We needed to do that. The other thing, there's a couple of more things we need to do. We need to put up the rank for any new item. And we've already got our AFD. So if we're going to put up a new item, we really need a reference that this really is a taxon name. And part of that referencing is that taxonomic database item, and we are putting these all up with references anyway, but nonetheless, we put up a taxonomic database reference, we put up instance of taxon, taxon name, parent taxon, taxon rank. So we're going to have to play with the taxon rank at this stage, and I'm going to do a bit of editing here because these are new items, I want a description for them, because we've seen already that there's a confusion because some things are allowed to have the same genus name, even though they're an insect and a turtle, same genus name. So it really is very useful to have a description in your Wikidata. So we're going to do some column editing here. I'm going to decapitalize, I'm going to lowercase our names of ranks. So that's a common transform. I'm not editing the column, I'm editing the cells. I'm using a common transform, and I'm commonly transforming to lowercase. And that's fine. I want to create my description. So I'm going to create a column based on this column. So I'm going to add column based on this column. The column is going to be called description. And I'm going to use the value because I've got some of these called genera and some of them called species. Now, the fact of the matter is the only new ones that I'm putting up are new species, but nonetheless, we're going to go through this exercise. I'm going to add some text, so add, and I'm going to have to put my text in quotes. I need a blank. It's a species of, and the word is used is reptile. Okay, and there we go. It's looking good. We've got a description. So let's go okay. Now there's one more thing before we can put it up. We need to reconcile those ranks. They do not go up as text, they go up as Q items. So they need to be reconciled. So let's reconcile them. Reconcile them, reconcile. This is usually pretty fast. It's on this one. Let's hope it picks out what kind of thing. Yes, it has taxonomic rank. And we're going to do an auto match. You can't go too far wrong with order, phylum, species, genus. So start reconciling, and that will take very, very little time because one, we only have 48 items, and two, they're relatively simple. So we should have them in a wee tick. Oh, that's all done. So there they are. We are now ready to add to our schema. So let's go to our schema, Wikidata on the right, and let's edit our Wikidata schema. Now, oh, that's not, oh, I know, we can't at this stage because let's just go back. We're not interested in the 48 rows. We are, in fact, interested in only our switch species, which are these. We want to subset by that, so we use the facet, text facet. I think there's only one. Yes, only one. So, or you wouldn't do this for just one, but we're going through the exercise for just one. So we're going to say we want to create a new item. And we're feeling fairly safe about that because this is clearly an accepted by some authorities as an appropriate genus, and certainly the Australian Faunal Directory accepts this as a valid name. So that's what we're going to do. And you can see that already what we've done is we've created some problems with our schema because let's take a look at what they are. One is we have new items created without any description. We haven't begun to describe what this new item is, and we will be creating a new Wikidata item. So that's all very well and good. We'll go back to editing our schema and hopefully we'll get rid of these complaints. So go back to schema and let's go. Okay, so we need to say what it's an instance of. We've already reconciled on taxon name, and what this will do will be to create a new Wikidata item. So we do need to describe what it is, and it's an instance of, and I start typing till this recognizes a Q item. And the Q item is the Q item for taxon. And that's it. I don't have to tick on this. I'm going to move on to the next statement, and I will have generated, oh, that's interesting. The next one is going to be taxon name. And I can plonk that in there. And my taxon name is this. It'll come over as text, but the text is correct from that column. So although it's been reconciled, it'll come over as text there. Now that should have generated, yes, it did generate a new thing because I haven't put in a reference, but I'll do that all in one go. Well, not in one go, but I'll do that all later, partly because I run out of space on this thing and it drives me wild. I need to put up the rank. Oops. Good if you can spell taxon rank. And there it is there, taxon rank. And it has been reconciled. This has to be a reconciled field. Or I could type it in, but of course, if I were going to type it in, it would apply to the entire column. And you might want that's not the case. So I prefer to pull it in because after all, I started with a spreadsheet. I want what I'm doing to be valid for the spreadsheet. So I've created the taxon rank. I need a parent now. It's my next statement, parent. Taxon, parent taxon, thank you. And I've reconciled those with the parent name, really the parent taxon. And I've generated yet another issue. That's because I haven't put in references. I'm going to be really very lazy this time. I'm just going to put in the reference. I'm not going to put in the date. Reference, oops, helps if you start with an R. Reference U. And you can see why I don't, you can barely see that. So I pulled in the property reference URL. My reference URL is that one as we used it before, we created it. And that is now a reference, so we should have lost one issue at least. Let's move to the next one and add a reference. The property I'm going to use is refu, reference URL. And again, I'm going to drag down this item, and we've lost an issue because I've added a reference, which is good. We're going to add a reference, same reference all the time. Reference URL is property. I want to drag down reference URL, beautiful. Moving up this thing, it's an instance of a taxon. How do I know it? I have a reference that it is, and the property is reference URL. There are other ways to reference. I could, but this is a simple way to do it. Reference URL. Drag it down. Okay, we now have only 2 issues, which is good. Let's take a look at what the problems are. Oh, I know what we didn't do. We didn't add our label. We didn't add our description. We want to add our description. So let's add our description here. We're going to add an item. We're not going to add the alias. We're going to add the description. It's in a language. The language is English. And English, description, yank it down. Okay, so that's looking good. We don't have any issues. Oh, yes, we do have one issue. Let's see what it is. Oh, we're going to create one new Wikidata item. A lot of hard work for just that. I'm going to preview it. Is that looking good or not? We're going, our label matches to our label matches to our taxon name. It's a species, we can tell because it's binomial. It's a derived name, and that could or that may or may not be right, who knows. This is its Faunal directory ID. We have a reference to that. It is an instance of a taxon, parent taxon, blah, blah, blah. So let's take a look at that. We're now going to upload it. We're just going to upload the edits to Wikidata, and this will be new Testudines. Now, it's only one, but this is the name of our batch, which we need to put up because we wouldn't want to yeah, we need to put it up as a batch, and we need to be able to identify the batch. So upload the edits. That should not take terribly long because it's just one item. There's one new thing we have to do, which is we have to add this to our Google. It will be a Google spreadsheet. It's not yet a Google spreadsheet. It's just a Word document, but given that I'm asking other people to add to it, it's got to be made to not a Google spreadsheet, a Google document. So this is taking a while. I'll go to my Word document. Oh, hang on. I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go to Testudines because that's the group that I put up. And this is the final thing that I would want to do. So I'm going to search there for Testudines. I want the checklist because I want to look, I want it to be in this hierarchical structure so that I can see what I'm missing. So I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to grab a picture of that if I can. And I'm going to use the snipping tool to grab a picture of it. We're in phylum Chordata, and we can see that we're in class Reptilia. Just going to grab that tiny little bit there. I'm going to save it, file, save as, capture Testudines. And I'm going to go like that. And now I'm going to put it into my document, which is going to go into Google so that you can see it. It's called AFD uploads docx. And you can see that reptiles is where I've started. And you can see what I've put in there. I've only done the geckata, which is basically the gecko type things. Move down there. Oops, oops, oops. We're on to snakes. They are reptiles, so that's fine. I need to insert this. Oh, look, I'm going to put in. I'm not very good with Word anymore. I'm going to put in a page break, which I'll get from home. No, insert, and I'm going to insert a page break, and I'm going to add that new picture. So I'm going to insert a picture, a picture. I know I had it in downloads. So it comes from there, it comes from downloads. Was my latest picture. Come on, come on, come on. There it is, captured Testudines. I'm going to insert that. And now everybody can see that that's what I've added. I'm going to go, I think I need a page break at the end of this because, well, perhaps I don't. Let me have a look. No, that looks good. I'm just going to go save. And that's documenting where we're up to in the Australian Faunal directory. And that will be a Google document. It's not yet, but I'm going to put this up and you'll see what it is. So close that down now. Close that, and we're going to go back to our OpenRefine, and we can see nothing at this stage, which means it's finished uploading. So we would like to go back to our, look, you can see we've got a new item there. There's a new Q item. Previously that was black. So if I click that, that is the new item we have created. And up it's popping here. There we go. And there we go. We've got species of reptile. We've only put up one of the labels there. We haven't said all that much about it, but we do have references. It's got nothing that's strange. Let's see whether that matches to our Australian Faunal directory. Australian Faunal directory, come on, my friend. There we go. Brackets, Wells and Wellington, 1985. Lots of common names there. This is a good start for writing an article if it didn't exist. Let's go back to Wallumbilla. I think this could be a freshwater one. Manning River. Who knows? So let's go back. Oops, back to here. And that's looking good. This, that's all in brackets, exactly as it should be. Perfect. So we have a reference for our new Wikidata item. And if we got all enthusiastic, we could add some labels here, which I might do. So I'm going to do an edit. And this is where I'm going to stop when I've done my edit. One of the nice things about scientific names is they are identical for Catalan, for Danish, for German, and for Spanish. Version exists because at one stage I was doing various things. French should be the same. Galician I know is the same. Italian is the same. Oops, did I put it in Italian? Control V, there we go. Nepalese is not, it has a different orthography. Nyungar, I don't think I'm going to worry about that. Control V. Romanian, certainly. Russian has a different orthography. Serbo-Croat has the same. No, it's got funny little whoosy-whats. But it's still the same. I'm not going to put it there. Swedish, yes. Not Ukrainian, but yes, Vietnamese. There's no accents and so on, despite the fact that Vietnamese is has an accented orthography. Scientific names aren't accented, so that's fine. And obviously I can't put in a label for the Chinese. I'm going to publish that, save somebody some work. And it means it must be really disconcerting if you ever do a query in Chinese to see all of the empty Q items, but never mind. We're going to stop sharing because we've done everything that we wanted to do. We've shown what you have to do to put up a new item. You have to put up a label, put up a description, and fill out all of the things that you need for a taxon. We need to put up instance of, it's an instance of taxon, and because it's a taxon, we need to have its parent taxon, we need to have its rank, and we need to have its name. And preferably, it's a good idea to have a taxon identifier. We're stopping sharing, and we're stopping the recording. Thank you very much. Bye.